FIA Pure Motorsport. This week, we're at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. We introduce you to the talented youngsters of the newly founded FIA Cross Car Academy, and there's truck racing for you to enjoy from the ETRC stop in Belgium. And that's not all. As always, there's lots more exciting action from the FIA world of motorsport.
The 7th round of the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine is held on the 4,318-meter-long F1 track of the Red Bull Ring. An incredible 33 drivers are on the entry list for the two races on the weekend in Spielberg, Austria. In the overall standings, Swiss driver Grégoire Saucy has a comfortable lead over Hadrien David in second place and Zane Maloney. For the first race, Argentinian Franco Colapinto is in pole position. Next to him is Hadrien David. Prema Power Team driver Paul Aaron starts in third position. Franco Colapinto from the pole position does not have a fantastic start, and Hadrien David manages to get very close to the Argentinian driver, but not enough to overtake him. Behind those two, Paul Aaron is strongly attacked by Alex Quinn, who moves up one position from 5th to 4th, overtaking Gabriel Bortoleto, but the Estonian driver defends his position. Championship leader Grégoire Saucy, in the meantime, moves up one position to 5th place, also overtaking Bortoleto. In the back of the field, Lena Bühler crashes into Tommy Smith, and the two drivers are out of the race, also requiring the safety car to enter the track. Bühler will be penalized 3 positions on the starting grid on Sunday for this accident. At the restart, Colapinto is very concentrated and holds on to first position. Behind him are still David, Aaron, Quinn, Saucy, Bortoleto, Alatalo, and Belov. The race continues with these drivers extremely close to one another, and at times getting so close, ready to attack, but never fast enough to overtake. A great job is done by Belov in the white and black car, who attacks the red car of Alatalo and then manages to overtake the Finn. 3 minutes to the end, and Alexandra Bardignon is out, and the safety car comes out once again. But this time it will bring the drivers to the end of the race, as there is no more time for fast laps. The order of the first 7 drivers has not changed compared to the first round. It's the first win in the championship for Franco Colapinto. Important points for Hadrien David in second position, who makes up ground on Saucy. Paul Aaron finishes in third position. For the second race of the weekend, Colapinto once again on the pole position. This time the championship leader Grégoire Saucy starts next to him. Hadrien David and Michael Belov crash into each other before the first turn, and after a few seconds the race ends for those two drivers. A tough break for the championship dreams of the young French driver David. After the restart, nothing changes in the first 5 positions. The biggest beneficiary of the confusing opening phase is Dino Beganovic. The Swede improves by 5 spots from 11th to 6th on the grid. While the drivers at the front of the field set identical lap times, the fiercest duel of the day develops in the battle for 10th place between number 46 Gabriel Mini and number 12 David Vidales. Both are next to each other for several moments, with the better end for the Spaniard in the red Prema Power Team race car. At the top of the field, everything is pretty even. Accordingly, Colapinto wins ahead of Saucy and Bortoleto. A great weekend for the Argentinian with his first 2 wins of the season. Although he doesn't have his best weekend, Grégoire Saucy with an important second place finish. The Swiss driver extends his lead in the championship. He is now 70 points in front of Adrien David. Maloney is making Barbados proud with his third place in the overall standings. This year, the Formula Regional merged with the Formula Renault Euro Cup to create an all-new competition. The Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine, certified by FIA. 12 teams with a maximum of 36 cars, all powered by a 1.8-liter Renault engine with chassis from Tatus and Pirelli tires. A successful story right from the start.
It's going really well. I think the numbers talk for themselves. We have a lot of cars, a lot of interest. All the teams are healthy. Drivers are happy. We race at wonderful circuits. We went to Monaco this year together with Formula One. Yeah, I think it's been really, really successful this year.
Support races for Formula One in Monaco, Imola, and Barcelona. Races on important circuits like Spa-Francorchamps, Red Bull Ring, and Zandvoort ensure that the drivers are in the motorsport spotlight. For them, it's the next step on the FIA single-seater ladder towards the top level of motorsport, and a very important one coming from Formula 4 and aiming at Formula 3.
Cars in regional are quite heavy and high-powered, and I think currently the junior single series is going in that direction, a heavy car and lots of power. So the driving style you learn here is what you are supposed to use also in F3 and F2. So definitely learning the driving style at a younger age will help you for the future.
Well, Formula Regional, also with Formula Renault, has always been like a championship where it has helped the drivers to jump to higher categories and eventually arrive to F1. So it's a championship where the level is very high. So it's very good to get the experience and to really create the right base in order to then keep moving up.
7 different winners in 14 races. The races are very competitive and produce great racing. And that helps a lot with the further development of the drivers. They can learn and grow in a strongly supported, robust, and competitive environment.
I think the biggest thing you learn is racing, first of all. Side-by-side racing, so on. We have 33 cars, so it's depending on the weekend, sometimes more, sometimes less. There's a lot of cars, there's a lot of fights on track, doing the starts, doing the qualifying, all of that, getting the maximum out of the tire in qualifying. All of these aspects, they're amplified in the next category. If you move to Formula 3, the car is more powerful, the tire degrades even more. But this is a perfect learning process for that.
And that's exactly what the FIA has envisioned with the new Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine, certified by FIA. This year's FIA Karting World Championship sees the paddock return to Kristianstad Karting Club at the Asom Ring in Sweden. 3 years ago, the World Championship for the OK categories was held on this challenging track, but now it's the turn of the Gearbox competitors and the Academy Trophy to end their season in balmy breezes under the cool Scandinavian sunshine. The Academy Trophy will see some incredible talents duel for the victory and the title. And with Marcel Gladish, Alexander Bodnarev, and David Walter best placed to go for the win in Kristianstad, it could have major ramifications for the championship. On the rolling start, Gladish sweeps across to seal second position behind pole sitter Dion Govda. And as the field goes through the first few corners, Caleb Grafrar and David Walter drift into the grass, but fortunately for both men, they're able to recover without losing time. Bondarev and Gladish are now being caught by Walter, who has his heart firmly set on ending 2021 with a win. But the pole in second has no pressure at all. He just needs to stay where he is to be crowned champion. Stefano Cagnolo and Zolder Colombres are not so lucky, and their day ends together. Walter is the first to pounce, and Gladys decides to let him through, knowing that the title could still be his, but Walter isn't finished yet. A lap later, he sees an opening in the final hairpin and makes his bid for the lead, and Bondarev is beaten. So Walter leads the race with Gladys still looking strong for the Academy trophy. Bondarev fights back in turn 1, but to no avail, and gives Gladys his second place back again. With Bondarev down to third, Walter is now looking good for the runner-up spot in the season standings. There are two jubilant men at the finish, David Walter for the win and Marshal Gladys for the title. They have both ended the season on their terms, and as the top two men in the standings with the pole, a very popular winner. Ukrainian driver Alexander Bondarev finishes the season in third place. At the start of the KZ2 Super Cup, the favorites Travisanuto, Trifilov, and Luye hold their positions into turn 1 as the field swarms into the first sector, trying to stay out of trouble. One of the favorites, Senna van Wallstein, is in the middle of the field. But the Dutch driver with the yellow helmet fights through the field and makes his next move on Trefilov. From 11th to 2nd, not a bad run at all. Next target, Travisanuto. The Italian is a country mile ahead. Van Wallstein is doing everything he can to catch up, but second would have to do as Trefilov holds off the resurgence of Jean Luye. As Travisanuto himself says after the race, history doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. It is a glorious win for Travisanuto as he claims the highest prize for a KZ2 driver. Senna van Wallstein with a great second place, and David Trefilov completes the podium in third. There is no greater accolade in the sport than the World Championship, and the KZ category is the toughest race in the world for a kart racer to win. Matteo Vigano and Noah Milel are the best placed to challenge for the win, while Fabian Federer and Andrea Kimi Antonelli are next in line to challenge. Number 31, Noah Milel, makes the perfect start to beat Vigano into the first corner, while Antonelli falls through the field after a poor getaway. Lorenzo Camplese makes his way into third ahead of Fabian Federer. Number 69, Pex versus number 42, Pohaka, becomes an interesting spectacle as the Finn pulls off one of the moves of the race. Can he help Tony Kart to another clean sweep of the podium? Up front, Noah Milel is on course to become the first Swedish gearbox world champion in 33 years and on the circuit that he grew up on, no less. But Pex wants to join him on the podium, and he sweeps back ahead of Pohaka before the Finn realizes what's happened. Gustafsson is on the podium at home until Pex catches him. The Dutchman spoils the party and moves ahead with his signature move. Then comes one of the duels of the weekend. Pohaka tries his own special move on Gustafsson, but the Swede isn't so willing to lose the place to Pohaka as he has been to Pex. It's a tough one, but despite the slight brush of the Tony Kart's front fairing, he holds on. Jorrit Pex has driven beautifully to fight through for third position, but he runs out of time to catch Camplese, who has driven his best race yet. There isn't a dry eye in sight as Noah Milel follows his uncle from 25 years ago by becoming world champion. Having literally been born and raised as a part of the Kristianstad Karting Club, the fairy tale couldn't be sweeter. He hasn't just won at home, he has dominated. And the reception he receives is breathtaking. Milel becomes the first homegrown KZ world champion since Marco Ardigo won at Sarno in 2014. Noah Milel is nothing short of a hero. Razid Al-Raji and Michael Orr claimed a solid victory on the Italian Baja, the penultimate round of the FIA World and European Cups for cross-country Bajas. The Toyota Hilux crew won 2 of the 5 selective sections to reach the finish with a winning margin of 3 minutes 3 seconds over Thiago Reis and Walter Cardozo. The Lithuanian-Portuguese duo of Benedictas Vangas and Felipe Palmiero finished third, making it a podium lockout for the Hilux. The final round will take the contenders in October to Baja Portalegre. The Audi Quattro of Italian duo Zippo and Dennis Pacino took the fastest time on 5 of the 7 stages on the final day of Rally Asturias in Spain. They finished 24 seconds ahead of the Ford Escort of Jesus Ferrero and Javier Anido. The Spaniards taking the fastest time on the first and last stage of the day. This gives Zippo and Pacino their 3rd overall win of the 2021 FIA European Historic Rally Championship. 3rd overall went to the Ford Sierra Cosworth 4x4 of Daniel Alonso and Adrian Perez. Kevin Peters confirmed his outstanding form in Nova Paca. After the victory in France and the 2nd place in Prerov, he finished 1st again in the Buggy 1600 category. Marcus Wiebeler was 2nd, Timo Pehler 3rd. In the Super Buggy category, Jakub Kubicek prevailed. The Czech relegated Bernd Stubbe and Vincent Mercier to 2nd and 3rd places respectively. Autocross is a fascinating competition. To attract young talent to autocross, rallycross, or rally, the FIA started the Cross Car Academy this year. Young drivers aged 13 to 16 from all over Europe who are aiming to make their debut on the international off-road scene compete in 5 events this season. Life Live, a company owned by the Neuville brothers, including 5-time World Rally Championship runner-up and current official Hyundai WRC driver Thierry Neuville, has been appointed to supply the 20 cross cars required for the competition.
The idea came in the beginning from the FIA. They said, okay, we have the Karting Academy, but we have nothing in the off-road series. And we would like to create a grassroots sport to give young people the opportunity to jump into autocross, rallycross, maybe rally later. So they want to do something which is cheap and which is competitive and which is basically combined with equality, which is really important. I mean, it's nothing better than having the drivers to measure themselves on the same cars, and that was the target.
The best thing is that all cars are similar, and this is a great chance for everybody to show how good he is.
Every one of the up to 20 drivers has the same equipment, and the budget of €21,250 for the season includes the provision of a cross car, consumables such as tires and fuel, transport of the equipment, and the paddock infrastructure at each event. This makes it easy for youngsters to start an off-road motorsport career.
I have started in autocross as well, and I got it right, and I was able to create my own career in rally. So there are plenty of opportunities, and it's good for people to get seen by the important people and do another step in their career.
Even though on the racetrack the drivers are competitors, the paddock has the atmosphere of a large camp where young people from all over Europe come together.
Everyone's friendly here, and there's no hard feelings about anything. So everyone talks, everyone has a joke, and it's very good.
The organizers, the drivers, and especially the parents are very satisfied with the first weeks.
They are learning because they have different circuits and everything. So I think for to come in the autosport, it's good to drive with the cross kart and begin very early with this.
Thierry Neuville keeps an eye on his protégés, and the WRC driver is happy to help when he's on site.
I'm open for questions, so they don't hesitate to come and ask questions. And that's good, so that's why I'm here as well, to give some tips if I can.
After 2 successful stops, 3 more will follow this season. Time enough for the drivers of the Cross Car Academy to improve and present themselves. Round 5 of the FIA European Truck Racing Championships takes place in Zolder, Belgium. Like always, there will be 4 races over the weekend, and suspense is guaranteed. Hungarian driver Norbert Kiss, who scored 4 victories so far, currently sits atop the standings with a marginal lead of 3 points over second place Sasha Lenz. But the veteran driver Adam Lachko is ready to close the gap on Kiss and Lenz. In the first race of the weekend, Norbert Kish extends his lead in the overall standings with a lights-to-flag victory. But Sascha Lenz stays close in the standings with a second place in race number 1. Due to heavy rain, the first 2 laps of the second race are run under the yellow flag. Steffi Holm leads the field. Sascha Lenz with number 30 and Norbert Kish in the red truck are close together in the middle of the field. Number 55, Adam Lachko, starts from 5th place, but fights his way forward, place by place with an aggressive style. Norbert Kish tries everything to keep up with Sascha Lenz and has a huge battle with truck number 33, Jamie Anderson, who has slipped between the 2 title rivals. In pouring rain, he overtakes him on the inside and then attacks Sascha Lenz, but the German driver defends his position. In the closing stages, Reinhardt and Albacete fight for position. There is a little touch and both trucks fly off the track. No damages and both drivers can finish the race. Adam Lachko wins his first race of the season and makes up ground on Lenz and Kish, who only finished 6th and 8th respectively in race 2. Steffi Holm finishes in 2nd place. Youngster Theo Calvet with a great 3rd place finish. On Sunday, Adam Lachko and Jochen Hahn start race 3 in the first row. Norbert Kish has to start from the back and again has one of his biggest rivals, Sascha Lenz, right in front of him. This time the Hungarian wastes no time overtaking Lenz and several other drivers in the first laps. The 36-year-old stays aggressive, easily passing Shane Brereton on the inside and then Theo Calvet on the outside. Shortly before the end of the race, he overtakes Andrei Kurzem and secures his 4th place finish, important points for the championship race. Six-time champion Jochen Hahn wins his first race of the season. Adam Lachko increases pressure on Norbert Kish with 2nd place. Antonio Albacete with another podium finish. Before the last race of the weekend, Kish leads the overall standings with 117 points, and Lachko just ahead of Lenz with 104 points. The 4th and final race of the Zolder weekend. Norbert Kish is on a mission from the moment the lights turn green. Already before the first turn, he makes up 2 places as he moves up to 3rd place. Ahead of him are only Shane Brereton and Theo Calvet. The young Frenchman is no problem for him. Brereton is already fighting back more and holding his own. But Kish overtakes him on the inside with a great maneuver, and Calvet and Lachko also push their way through. Then Adam Lachko attacks his teammate Theo Calvet for 2nd place, and the experienced Czech gets his way. Up front, Norbert Kish with a big lead, then Lachko, then Calvet. Sascha Lenz has to let his biggest rivals go and is now fighting hard for every point. For the entire 12 laps, Lenz is on the bumper of Brereton, but the Brit is doing an excellent job of defending his position. In the end, a disappointing 5th place for Lenz. Norbert Kish with a great win. Adam Lachko comes in 2nd place, and a great podium finish for Theo Calvet. But Kish celebrates with pure joy his great race and the extension of his championship lead. A great ending after a complicated weekend for Norbert Kish. The Hungarian has once again shown that no adversity can stop him. In the overall standings after 5 stops, his lead is now 14 points. Adam Lachko moves up to 2nd place in the overall standings. Sasha Lenz falls back down to third place. That's it for today. On the next episode of FIA Pure Motorsport, we have great hill climb action for you. We'll visit the beautiful island of Elba, the next stop of the European Historic Rally Championship, and we'll introduce you to Martins Schecht, one of the most promising talents coming out of rally sport. Till next time, take care, everybody. Ciao.